I'm Amber Philpott in Louisville. Coming up, how the Derby City is planning to cash in on all those basketball fans, including the Big Blue Nation.
A head-on crash in central Kentucky leaves one person dead. This afternoon, we've learned who the victim is.
The wind helped spare a business damage from an equipment fire.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. WKYT News starts now with breaking news.
We continue to track breaking news in Lexington this afternoon.
A medical helicopter made an unexpected landing at the UK Arboretum. We're told the helicopter had just left UK Hospital when the crew had to land. Our Garrett Weimer's at the scene now with the breaking details.
UK police tell us this air evac medical helicopter had just taken off from UK Hospital when the pilot smelled smoke. At that point, they decided to make an emergency landing as a precaution here at the Arboretum behind the Greg Page Apartments. That's near Commonwealth Stadium. They landed and everyone on board was okay. No patients were on board at the time. At this point, the pilot here is waiting by the helicopter. They're hoping to get it checked out before it'll take back off and head to their home base in Manchester. Here in Lexington, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
Garrett, thank you. Well, tomorrow, the Wildcats continue their march to national title number 9.
UK will face Hampton in the second round of the NCAA tournament. The Cats are about to practice at the KFC Yum Center. WKYT's Amber Philpott is live in Louisville, where fans will get a look at the Cats. Amber?
Hello, Jennifer and Sam. I can tell you a lot of blue has invaded the Derby City. Fans still streaming into the Yum Center. In just about 10 minutes, their Cats are going to take the court for some practice. It's a great day to be a fan because you can get in today without a ticket. I want to bring in WKYT's Rob Bromley now. And Rob, the players on the podium this afternoon, Coach Cal on the podium, still sounding like a group of guys are really enjoying what they're doing and very cool and calm and collected.
Very calm, and I think they should be. It was interesting who Cal had go into the interview room because he had 2 sophomores and 2 freshmen. He had Marcus Lee and Dakari Johnson, and then the freshmen were Devin Booker and Tyler Eulis. So you had to go into the locker room to talk with Willie or Karl Anthony Towns. But the Wildcats in just a few minutes will be on the court for their open practice here at the Yum Center. Kentucky arrived here at the Yum Center about 4:15 this afternoon. The Cats have that NCAA opener with Hampton tomorrow night. Now, for the last 30 minutes, Cal and his players answered questions here in Louisville.
Everybody is in the same boat. Everybody's 0-0. We were in the final game last year. We had 10 losses. Doesn't matter how many losses you have. Everybody's 0-0. I told the team, you know, whatever happens, they made history. Whatever happens. I didn't tell them, if you lose tomorrow, you make history again. So, you know, every game you play, it's a one-game tournament.
The Wildcats open against Hampton in the late game tomorrow night. Tip will be at about 9:40 here on WKYT. We will preview it with a 1-hour special tonight at 7. Big Blue Road to Indy, that will be on the CW Lexington. Brian Milam will join me live for that at 7 o'clock.
Boy, I hope that late game is not going to be what happens through this whole tournament.
No, I hope not either, but it might.
Yes, it might. Well, back in 2012, the Cats were here before, and just like in 2012, the city of Louisville is hoping to cash in big. Back then, when the tournament was here, the city brought in about $6 million, and businesses and restaurant owners, they're hoping to do much of the same when the Big Blue Nation returns this week. It's still early, but here at Patrick O'Shea's, the official watch party location for the University of Kentucky, the excitement of hosting the Big Blue Nation and what they'll bring to the bar is welcome.
We've been preparing for this because we had a feeling that UK was going to be here. So we started preparing 2 months ago on speaking with some of the UK alumni and starting staffing and all kinds of things that go into getting ready for an event like this.
And it's already started. Wildcat fans showed up hours before the Cats even took the floor. This 8-year-old skipped school and was prepared for the wait. Are you going to sit in this seat all day long?
Yeah, even if I have to sit in this seat, I will see Kentucky.
But we just want to come in town and check out the practice and get to see some of the competition.
It's fans like this that downtown bars and restaurants are prepared to welcome all weekend long, and Wildcat fans plan to be here. Absolutely, they do. Patrick O'Shea's is just right over the way. I can tell you it's at the corner of 2nd and Main. It is the official UK Alumni Association headquarters. It was so in 2012, and of course, I think there's some good luck over there, and we'll take that luck all we can. And we were there today, and they were restocking. Of course, they had a busy day yesterday with St. Patrick's Day, but they are ready and raring to go, and they expect a lot of blue to be flooding in their bar come tomorrow and through the weekend. That is the story here in the Derby City. Back to you.
Thank you, Amber. And if you want to watch tomorrow's tournament games, we have a guide to all of the matchups, times, and channels. Just go to WKYT.com. Well, cooler air has arrived in the bluegrass.
It has, and by tomorrow you'll have some rain on the way as well with those colder temperatures. WKYT meteorologist Jim Caldwell is tracking it all on the First Alert Defender. What a switch from a few days ago.
Yeah, because we were in the mid and upper 70s just on Monday, and now we're at midweek, as we've been talking about, and the chill has arrived. And it's not going anywhere for a few days. We look outside with Defender right now. We've been seeing the leading edge of this moisture, the big push of rain that's coming our way, start to show up across parts of western Kentucky and even maybe a stray sprinkle or two down to our south. But generally, it's a lot of cloud cover that has been showing up here throughout the entire day today. And that's going to be the case tonight and even into the early morning tomorrow. And that's when we'll also start tracking those showers or perhaps even a few flakes of snow early tomorrow morning. 46 right now in Lexington. It bumped up to 48 down in Richmond and 51 in London, so you can see some warmer air. I've tried to find spring. It's just really hard to do because we'll be tracking some morning flakes tomorrow morning. Then we get into the day on Thursday and into your Friday. We'll be tracking chilly showers all the way through that time period. The only thing is we go up a little bit on Friday temperature-wise, but I finally found it. There's a hint of spring trying to show up on Saturday as we likely get back into the 60s, which, by the way, is above average. We'll track that into our area coming up for you in just a few minutes.
We now know the name of a man killed in a crash this morning.
It happened about 7:30 on US 60, about 3 miles outside of Mount Sterling in Montgomery County. The coroner has identified that victim as 58-year-old David Knox of Menifee County. The sheriff's office says his car and a van hit head-on. As WKYT's Victor Puente shows us, the crash left a passenger in Knox's car injured as well.
This road was closed for more than 4 hours while accident reconstruction took place. The vehicles involved hit head-on. The Montgomery County Sheriff says the crash happened around 7:30. Both vehicles were on US 60 heading in opposite directions when they collided.
What we're trying to do is determine actually who caused the accident.
The man driving the white car was pronounced dead at the scene by the Montgomery County coroner. The woman with him was flown to UK hospital by helicopter. The sheriff tells me the person in the van is expected to be okay. The reconstruction took some time because evidence was missing.
We don't have any skid marks, and that's what's going to make this a little bit more difficult.
But he's confident they'll be able to determine how this crash happened, even if it takes a bit longer than usual.
Once we get all the debris moved and cleaned up, we'll be able to determine exactly what we feel like occurred.
Sheriff Shortridge says this is a dangerous curve. Just a couple of feet from where I interviewed him, there was a cross from another fatal crash that he worked several years ago. In Montgomery County, Victor Puente, WKYT.
US 60 reopened about noon today. Well, the weather helped save a business product from a fire. The fire happened this morning at Farmer's Feed Mill on West Loudon Avenue this morning. Smoke from the fire spread into silos holding oats and corn. It could have ruined the food, but firefighters say strong winds carried the smoke out of the silos. Firefighters say they moved very slowly because it was an unusual situation for them.
You have to slow down, think about what you're doing. There's a lot of working mechanical parts, moving parts. We've got to stop and think about and the best way to handle that.
And the business will have to slow production for a day or two until the equipment that the fire damaged is repaired.
It is something that has not happened at Wolf Creek Dam, which holds back Lake Cumberland in 11 years.
A recall alert today why Trader Joe's is warning shoppers about walnuts in better living.
Part of the Daniel Boone National Forest is on fire, and it was set on purpose. We'll tell you why on WKYT News at 5:30.